Showdown. Any questions?
Yeah, I mean, we're excited to get the season started. Obviously, I think the guys are just ready to, play somebody else. I think scrimmaging gets real old. Been doing it since early September. Just kind of see where we're at, see how we stack up this time of the season. Then obviously on top of just opening the season, we're going to be playing some great competition in a really nice environment. We know the temperature is going to be good. The weather's going to be good. There's going to be a lot of fans. It should be fun. But I think more than anything this weekend, we'll learn a lot about our team and what we need to work on going forward.
I know there's always excitement for opening weekend, but do you sense a little bit extra focus when you're playing the types of teams that you're playing this week?
I would say yes, just because, you're playing all three teams are ranked in at least a few polls. And, these are teams that, are in regionals last year and projected to be there this year. I think the focus is the guys are a little more serious about it. They know that we're going to have to play really well if we're going to win. And a lot of times when you open at home, it's a little easier. You're in your own element environment, and we're going on the road and really playing. I don't know, almost when you look at it, all three teams have used the stadium a lot. You have two teams from Texas that have been in there a little bit, and TCU, they played a bunch of games in there last year and probably the year before. And then Oklahoma State, I know, moved a series or two down there last year. So they've played a lot more in that ballpark than we have. So this is to me, this is almost like a true road games.
Have you set your starting rotation?
Oh yeah. We'll go with Hagen Smith right out of the gate. And then we'll go Will McIntyre. And then we'll go Hunter Holland on Sunday.
I know you lost Wiggins last week, but was it relatively easy to kind of come to that rotation for you?
Well, I mean, there's some guys battling. I mean, I thought Cody Adcock has thrown really well, but he's very versatile, so we could use him out of the pen. And then obviously Wiggins would have, been in the rotation. And, those were probably the 5 or 6 guys we were looking at.
And how disappointing is this second year in a row, right before the season, you lose a guy like Wiggins, last year Paulette? What have you ever experienced something like that?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much the way it's just about every year. You're going to lose somebody. I mean, there's been other teams. We're not going to use it as an excuse. It didn't help us, that's for sure. And, that's a lot of innings right there, and really good stuff. Third year in the program. A lot of times it's the junior year that they really take off. And especially when you're a big guy, a lot of times just to get everything together. So that's disappointing for us, but I'm really disappointed for Jackson and his family. I know that he was really looking forward to pitching for the Razorbacks and having a big year, and it'll be a challenge, but we just have to have some other guys step it up and play really good baseball.
I'm assuming the closer role might be played by ear and stuff, but what all kind of is going into your thought process on who might close and who might go long, stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, we've got there's options there. A couple of them are young options. We just feel good about what we've seen for the most part. And I mean, really, you closing long relief. Brady Tigert has the experience. His season dating back into the fall till now has been a little bit up and down, but really shown some pitchability as far as more than just a breaking ball. His fastball is good and it's got movement, and he's learning how to pitch more with 3 pitches instead of maybe 2. And you could use Morris in that role. We like Gage Wood a little bit towards the end of the game, and I think even Cooper Dossett has done really well. He didn't pitch all fall. He's been hurt a lot through high school, off and on, and now it looks like he's healthy and he's got really good stuff. And those are some of the guys that kind of jump out at me a little bit. But you got Cody Frank, who's got a lot of experience, and middle relievers, long relievers. I mean, you could go with Austin Ledbetter and any of the guys I just mentioned. And we even like freshman Parker Coyle. He's got a good breaking ball, throws the ball right around 90 miles an hour, and he throws a lot of strikes. Again, they're freshmen, but we're going to have to put some of these guys out in the fire early and just see what they can do.
Yeah, coach, just curious about the overall health of the team going into the weekend.
Pretty healthy. If you've been at our scrimmages, and I know you guys have, you've seen there's been a couple guys that they hit, but they don't run. Just trying to get some foot injuries and little things like that, bruises. Kendall Rogers. How about that? How about Kendall Diggs? I just got off the phone with him, but Kendall Diggs and I don't know. I would say just some regular sickness type things. We've had, a lot of that going on, just, like everybody this time of year, the weather up and down. I think that's what we've been battling, even to some of the coaches. So, but it's the same with everybody. I feel like across the country, we're all going through the same things, and injuries are part of playing. And that's why you have to have depth, and you have to have a secondary plan. But I'd say for the most part, we're pretty healthy.
And then the left side of the infield, have you nailed down who you plan on throwing out there?
Yeah, I mean, we'll go with Caleb Cowley at third to start. And obviously, I feel like John Bolton's played really good shortstop. So we'll go with those two.
Sean,
Fitzpatrick, I noticed you've been using him a lot out of the pen these last few weeks. Do you envision him getting some regular innings for you?
Well, Sean is a guy, and you've probably seen the way we've used him. We've tried to, the last couple of weekends, throw him twice. And maybe the first time he throws 25 pitches, and then in the second outing, maybe just do a left-handed hitter or two, depending on the situation, just to put him in a situation, a matchup, because we feel like that kind of throws a kind of a high carry fastball. It's not overpowering, but he's got a good slider, and he's different, more sidearm and herky jerky, kind of hard to pick up. And, if he could be a guy that could come out of the pen and just get us some lefties a few times a week, that'd be great.
And then with Kendall Diggs, if he's able to run this weekend, do you envision him cracking the lineup at all?
He'll be in the lineup offensively, so I guess that gives him one shot, and that's the DH. He's hit the ball really well, really well.
A DH, how do you approach the DH? So, I
Yeah.
mean, do you try to platoon with all the different options that you have?
Well, I'm not going to platoon as of right now. I mean, I don't know who Texas is throwing, but we're assuming that they'll throw their left-hander. He's their most experienced pitcher, and had a lot of innings last year, preseason, first team Big 12. I don't know how they worded it, but that's a tough league. And if you're, I guess, coach's preseason pick, I guess that's who voted. You're pretty good. I think he threw like 80 innings or something last year. So anyway, but I'll still hit Kendall there instead of a right-hander, because we have some right-handers that are swinging it pretty good. I mean, Harold Cole's been swinging it good from the right side, and maybe a couple others, but I feel like that Kendall, with him, he stays on lefties pretty good, and when he's seeing it doesn't matter if they're right or left-handed.
you don't have to go through your whole
Game plan for the week, but do you anticipate some shuffling around the lineup, whether that be catcher, shortstop, or outfield, or wherever?
Not a whole lot. Obviously I want to see guys play. I've seen them play a lot, but you get to try to win the games and go with what you think is going to help you win the game. I mean, that's our job. And the human side of you human nature, I guess. I don't know. You just want to take care of guys that have worked hard, and I feel bad about it. But at the same time, we have a lot of games, and their time's coming. And that's what I tell them, just be the best teammate you can. You don't play opening weekend, or you play a little bit. You just, show what you can do. And when you get in there, do your job. I mean, you're going to get more opportunity. And, a lot of times the lineup you see at the beginning of the year, you go back and check and see how it started, the way it ended. And it can be a lot different. It might not be totally different in personnel, but where you hit them in the order. And I always refer back to it. As a matter of fact, I'll snap a picture on my phone of our lineup when it's posted, and I've got them all the way back. And I like to look at, a lot of times it's in the summer after season's over, and think, wow, what a change that was. Or he went from 8-hole to 2-hole, or lead off to 3-hole. And you know, 2 or 3 guys that didn't start end up starting because we have good talent. Maybe they're young. They just need to bring them along. You know, this is a tough setting for a young guy to be a first college ball game, you know, with all these people and the lights and everything else. And sometimes it's better to maybe watch from the side a little bit.
I wanted to follow up on Cooper Dossett. You know, we've gotten to see him twice now. Were you surprised by how good the stuff looked? I mean, there was the one outing, I think he had 6 strikeouts in 2 innings. Just were you surprised with how ready he looked like he might be able to contribute right away?
Yeah, we knew the arm strength was there if he's healthy. I mean, he's always had a great arm. I mean, I remember something a few years back, a perfect game. He was throwing from the outfield and he like 98, 99, 100 miles an hour. And he was a sophomore in high school. And we're going, wow. I mean, that got all over the country. But there's a difference between arm strength and being able to pitch and get people out. And he can pitch. He's got a good breaking ball. He's got a good changeup. Obviously, he's got a really good fastball. It's got some carry to it. It's hard to get on top of it. And, you know, he's been impressive. And I think that's a credit to him as this the way he works. And he didn't pitch all fall, rehabbing that arm, doing everything the right way. And, you know, just every time I would come up to the facility over the holidays, he was here and he was working by himself downstairs or lifting or doing whatever. I mean, he got after it. And I'm not saying other guys don't, but he got a good work ethic for a young player.
I'm sure you saw that.
Grant Taylor at LSU is having Tommy John. You know, A&M lost one of their left-handed starters back in the fall to it. There were a lot of high-profile pitchers in the SEC last year. Do you think it's happening more often, or do you think maybe it's just more high-profile pitchers? We're noticing it more. And I mean, I know it's probably the $1 million question, but do you have any thoughts on why it's happening so often?
Well, I think it's not happening any more than it ever has. Maybe just maybe more of the high profile guys have been injured, so it gets out there a lot more. There's so much more media coverage now, and it's just, you know, I just think it's part of the game. And you know, we've said it for years, and now there's more ways to acquire players, but it used to be 11.7 scholarships with most programs. That's all you had. And we need more because we need more pitchers because of injuries. And, you know, there's, you know, example softball, they can roll pretty good with 2 or 3, you know, and baseball, you gotta have a lot of quality guys because guys get hurt. I mean, those arms, it's just an awkward motion for an arm and such a process of recovery and stress. And, you know, but it's just part of it. You just kind of hold your breath, you know, as a coach, and you just, you know, it can be over time. It can be one pitch. And I've seen it both ways.
How was Nick Griffin doing, and could he have a role for you this year?
Nick's not doing great. You know, arm's bothering him a little bit. And, you know, there's a really good opportunity for Nick to redshirt this year, just to try to get strong.
And you mentioned Caleb Cali started at third base for you. It seems like he's had a really good fall and preseason at the plate. Has he surprised you at all, or did you know he was going to be this good?
Well, we knew he was going to be a good player. You never know exactly what you're getting. I've talked to his college coach a couple of times. I even saw him in person in Nashville at the convention. And I feel like Caleb's, you know, a very confident hitter. You know, he's a corner guy, you know, so that means first or third. We had a need for him to play third. It's what he wanted to play coming in here. And, you know, whether he can do it or not, you know, he had to go prove it to us. And I think he's shown that he's pretty good over there. He's had days when it didn't go good, but a lot of guys do. But I feel like that he works at it. He cares about being a good defender. But yeah, I mean, it's hard I don't know how I feel about it because I didn't really get to see him play a lot. You know, you watch a little video, we're in the playoffs, we're in tournaments, they are. And all he ever did was hit. He had an incredible year last year at the JUCO, first team All-American. You know, is that going to work at this level? He's proved that he can hit our pitch, and so he should be able to hit just about anybody out there. And, you know, hopefully he can just relax and stay within and do what he can do. But he's been a good player so far.
Coach,
Hunter Owen on Sunday. When we've talked to him, it seems like he's ready for this moment, but from your perspective, what are you expecting from him?
Yeah, I mean, Hunter is a strike throwing lefty. I don't feel like that he's intimidated by too much. He's, that he knows this is a big year for him personally. He's worked extremely hard and takes it serious, and he wants to have a big year. We didn't know how we are going to use him because, if you put him out there in a 1-inning role, he'll throw the ball 95, 96 miles an hour, and we did that with a little in the fall, and we were thinking, man, this is automatic in the ninth, and then coming into January, February, you don't know if you're going to be ahead in the 8th or the 9th. You don't know if you're going to use the guy enough. And, so we just figure, opportunity to start. Then when Wiggins went down, that probably took out one of our starters. So it was either going to be, McIntyre or Holland, and, who was going to stay in the pen when Wiggins was in. Now he's out. They're both in. It's easy. That's kind of the way we see it, except for Adcock, because he's had some good innings. We've gotten to him a little bit the last couple outings, but other than that, he had been really good. So, there's definitely some options there, but he's ready for the moment.
And then I'm assuming Polk behind the plate, but it seems like Roland came on, especially hitting there here recently. Just curious about, has Roland kind of closed that gap a little bit?
Yeah, I think Roland's he's had a good, I guess we'll call this spring training preseason with the bat. And he's had some good days catching. He throws well. He's very accurate. He can throw from his knees, stand up and throw. I mean, he's going to give you a chance. If the pitcher gives him a chance, he's got a real good opportunity. He's going to throw him out. We feel like right now Polk is ahead of him on the catching side, but it's not a lot more. It's more though. And it's, it's good. And like I said earlier, I feel like they're both going to get to catch, and there'll be times when Polk starts and, there's a tough right-hander on the mound, and maybe we need to switch and go to a left-handed hitter or a pinch hitter, and we'll bring Roland in, and maybe vice versa. So they're both going to get their time. I think you'll see both of them catch this weekend.
Bit of a random question, but did you see that Dominic Fletcher is going to play for Italy in the World Baseball Classic? What'd you think about that? And I think he was here just recently as well.
He's been here. He's actually he was with us in practice a few days and he worked with our outfielders or just talked to him a little bit, and they watched him run down balls off the bat, and I think they were amazed and just how good he is with that first step. And yeah, he's excited to play with Team Italy and just to get to play more baseball and represent and just be a part of that whole thing. I truly believe that Dom's going to play in the big leagues, and I think it's going to be sooner than later. He's in an organization right now that has a lot of outfielders. He may get traded, but I mean, that's a guy that can play all three outfield positions and throws well, hits left-handed. To me, at a minimum, it says fourth outfielder in the big leagues, and left-handed hitter off the bench and good defender. I don't think it's going to be too much longer.
And you got anything else? All right, awesome. Coach, thanks for your time.
Okay.